Would you walk into a murder scene after midnight? Would you willingly step inside a building where someone was murdered just to prove that ghosts aren't real? I did, and what I found inside still wakes me at night. I grew up in a small Midwestern town where stories about the abandoned Hallow Creek High School were practically folklore. Everyone knew the legend. 15 years ago, a beloved history teacher, Mr. Heron, was found dead on the gym floor long after the last bell. No weapon was ever recovered, no fingerprints, just a slick of blood in the center of the court and rumors that something unnatural had happened. Kids whispered about flashing lights when the power was long cut, about a man's voice echoing through empty halls. Each Halloween, someone dared a friend to sneak inside, but most only managed a quick peek through the cracked windows before bolting. I never bought it. I'm the family skeptic, the kid who dismantled Ouija boards to prove magnets were hidden underneath. When I came back to town for a short visit last fall, my old friends teased me. If you're such a non-believer, why not spend a night in the school? I laughed. Gladly. I'll even bring a camera so you can see nothing happens. That Friday night, I parked a block away so no curious neighbor would notice. The air smelled of cold rain and fallen leaves. The front doors were chained, but I'd already spotted a window in the east wing with shattered glass big enough to slip through. Inside, the scent of mildew and old paper hit me like a wave. Dust danced in my flashlight beam. My sneakers squeaked on warped linoleum, every sound unnervingly loud. Rows of lockers lined the hallway, their doors slightly ajar as if waiting for students who would never return. Some still had stickers, faded band logos, Go Hawks, pep rally slogans frozen in time. I turned on my phone's voice recorder. October 29th, 11:47 p.m. Entering the infamous Hallow Creek High to debunk the local ghost myth, I said, forcing a cocky tone. A distant clank echoed, sharp and metallic. Probably a pipe contracting, I told myself. Buildings settle. I headed toward the gym, the supposed crime scene. The corridor narrowed, ceiling tiles sagging like tired eyelids. As I walked, I could swear I heard a faint second set of footsteps behind mine. Half a beat slower. I stopped. Silence. I moved again. There it was. I swung the flashlight back. Empty hallway. My pulse kicked, but I muttered, "Acoustics," and kept going. The gym doors creaked as I pushed them open. The space was massive and cold, smelling of damp wood. My light caught faint reddish stains on the warped floorboards where Mr. Heron had died. I knelt to inspect them, probably old varnish or rust, but the shape looked disturbingly like a sprawl of fingers. To keep my nerves in check, I narrated, "Standing in the gym. No ghosts, just bad plumbing." My voice trembled despite the joke. That's when the temperature plunged. 1 second normal, the next icy enough that my breath clouded in front of me. A slow scraping sound came from the far bleachers. I aimed my light. A single locker door, an old equipment locker, swung open and shut with a squeal. There was no draft. Every window was boarded tight. I walked toward it, each footstep echoing like a drumbeat. As I reached out, the door slammed shut with a metallic bang that shook the floor. My flashlight flickered and died. Darkness swallowed the gym. I fumbled for my phone light. Before I could turn it on, a whisper slid across the blackness, low and male, close enough to warm my ear. "Why did you come back?" My heart lurched. "Who's there?" My own voice cracked. The answer was only silence, and a sharp smell of iron, strong and coppery, like fresh blood. I finally got the phone light to work. Across the gym floor, a trail of wet, bare footprints gleamed, leading toward the stage at the far end. They weren't mine. Too large, too flat. Every instinct screamed to leave, but stubbornness or arrogance drove me forward. I followed the prints to the stage curtains. The fabric trembled, though the air was still. I yanked the curtain aside. Nothing but darkness and stacked chairs. Then, slam! The main gym doors banged shut behind me. I spun around. Shadows pooled thick in every corner. The whisper returned from somewhere above in the rafters. "You can't leave." The stage lights exploded to life, then the overhead fluorescents flooding the gym with harsh white glare. For a single frozen second, I saw him. A tall figure in a brown suit, exactly like the yearbook photo of Mr. Heron, stood in the center court where the stains lay. His skin was gray, eyes two bottomless sockets, a faint smear of crimson across his shirt. Then the lights snapped off. When my sight adjusted, the gym doors were standing wide open. I ran. My footsteps thundered through the hallways as lockers rattled violently, banging in a chaotic rhythm like applause. I reached the window I'd entered and clambered out, scraping my hands on the broken glass. The night air felt alive against my face. I didn't stop running until I reached my car. Only when I sat trembling behind the steering wheel did I notice something strange on my wrist. A faint streak of dried rust-colored liquid. Blood? Paint? I scrubbed it with a napkin until my skin burned, but the smell of iron lingered. At home, I replayed the recording. The first 10 minutes were fine, my voice, my footsteps, then static. After the flashlight failed, the audio was a distorted hiss, until the very end, when a low voice bled through the noise. "See you next class." I barely slept. The next morning I returned, this time in daylight, with a local reporter friend. We found the gym doors locked with a fresh padlock. No footprints, no streaks on the floor. But when my friend bent near the stage, she frowned. "Do you hear that?" Faint, almost like a classroom lesson from decades ago, came the sound of chalk scratching on a blackboard. I went in a skeptic, certain I'd debunk a legend. I came out unsure of everything I believe about life and death. And sometimes, late at night, I still feel a cold breath on my ear and hear the words, "Why did you come back?"